Today on Bake and Make, we're going to be making these tasty oatmeal and raisin cookies. Voila, our ingredients. So let me tell you, this is my all-purpose flour. I don't have much left, so I also took my wheat and all-grain flour just in case I run out of white. I have granulated sugar down here, salt, cinnamon, butter, 1 egg, raisins, vanilla extract, oats, and baking soda, and I also have molasses because I love to make my homemade brown sugar, which tastes so much better than store-bought. Anyways, grab also 2 bowls, an electric mixer, obviously your cups for measuring, and your tablespoons and stuff, a spatula because a spatula is always necessary. It is so important to have a spatula. Also grab yourself a little sieve just in case you need it, Okay, so I start by just grabbing 1 bowl, and this is the bowl where we'll be doing our dry mixture. Okay, let's start by mixing all our dry ingredients into our bowl. So first, let's start off with 1.5 cups of flours, which is also 180 grams. So I'm using, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and then 1 cup of the multi-grain, how is it called? The brown flour, I'm just gonna call it that. Then we have 3/4 of baking soda. I had to get a little bit creative because we needed 3/4 of 2 things and I couldn't have them both together. And then we have 3/4 of baking powder. Then we have, I'm gonna go clean that up. If you don't know what happened, I spilled some of the salt, but I picked it up and got a new scoop. Anyways, 1/2 teaspoon of salt right in there. And then I'm doing 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, but you can use whatever spices you like. I would recommend the 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and then 1/4 of whichever spice you want to add to there. You can literally add whatever one you want. The list goes on and on and on. So let's just whisk this up and then put it aside, and then we'll start on our wet butter. Just whisk that up real quick. Doesn't need to be perfect, mine looks normal. Okay, now let's grab another bowl for our wet butter. Okay, now we're gonna cream up 1 cup of unsalted butter, which is 226 grams. Then we're gonna add in 1 cup of my, not mine, but brown sugar. I have my homemade brown sugar. That should be around 220 grams. You can check that out if you're not too sure. So let's just add that in. And then we have, I forgot what this was in grams. 1 cup of just granulated sugar. I forgot what this was in grams, but I'll just put it in letters later. Now after adding all the butter and sugar, we're gonna whisk that and cream that all together. Okay, after whipping up your butter with both of the sugars, your butter should look something like this. If you take a little chunk, it should be able to just squish nice and easily. It tastes amazing. By the way, if you like my videos, go and hit that subscribe button, because if you love baking and you love exploring new recipes, that's exactly what I'm doing. So go ahead and hit that like button at least. Hey, but look, you can do whatever you want. Please subscribe. Now first, before we continue, let's get a little water break. Water is always a necessity. Okay, now with our creamed up butter and sugars, we're gonna add in 2 large eggs. These do not need to be room temperature. I know at the start I showed 1 large egg, but it was my mistake. I miscalculated by accident. So it's gonna be 2 large eggs for this recipe. Actually. Oops. Ooh. Okay, good. I dropped stuff a lot, so. Okay, now let's mix this up real quick. Boom, 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 boom. After mixing that, my batter looks a bit more liquidy. Let me just get my spatula to scrape down the sides real quick. scraping down the sides is so important because if not, half of your batter is going to be mixed and then the batter on the side is not going to be mixed. So, and we don't want that on our cookies, right? Because you want the whole batter to be cookies. You don't want the half of the batter, like, to be not cookies. You want everything to be cookies. And now we're going to add in 2 teaspoons. I'm just going to do 2 splashes of vanilla. Really, when they say like 2 teaspoons, I just do splashes because as long as you don't add too much vanilla, everything will be fine. So, yeah. Okay, sorry I forgot to tell you guys, but after we're done mixing in that vanilla, we're going to carefully add in our dry flour batter that we did earlier. Okay, now let's add this in. Now on low, we're going to mix this for about until it's almost all incorporated. Now we're going to add in our star ingredient, which is 2.5 cups of oats or 280 grams. First cup. Second cup. And then we're going to add in our... Okay. Now I'm going to see on my recipe if we need to add anything else. Okay, and I was right. We do not need another ingredient right now. So what we're going to do is just going to take our spatula and carefully fold. Actually, you don't need to be careful. Just fold the oats into our already made batter until it's all incorporated and mixed together just perfectly. So what is amazing about these cookies is, you know, when you get oatmeal and raisin cookies at like a cafeteria, maybe a bakery, like a vending machine, they kind of taste like ass. They taste most of the time really bad. But the thing about this is that you can make them however you want. You don't like raisins? Hey, let's add some M&Ms. Add chocolate chips, add nuts, add anything you want, to be for real. It is so important to want to bake this. It's so important to want to eat this after. You're not just baking this because, oh, well, I saw Jacqueline's video and I feel like she's pressing on me to bake this. No, not at all. You have to bake it. Well, actually, you don't have to. You at least need to want to have this. You need to have, like, the idea, like, hey, I want some oatmeal cookies right now. I just got the idea. Let's make some oatmeal cookies. Because it is so important right now that these people love baking. Because I always got taught that baking is not tasty if you don't put effort and love into it. So, this is actually a little secret of mine. When I'm baking, before I put my stuff in the oven, I give it a little French kiss. So, yeah. And honestly, not many people bake anymore at home because they're willing to. It's mostly because they just can bake. Anybody can really bake. You just need to have practice. You need to have time. It's harder to bake when you're in a rush than when you're not in a rush, and you have so much time, and you just can take your time. You can do what you want. Anyways, I'm done incorporating this, and your batter should look something similar to this. Kind of looks like peanut butter with oats right now. Okay, now we're going to add in 1 cup or 160 grams of whatever mix-in we want. I'm adding in raisins because it's kind of the old-fashioned oatmeal cookie. Oatmeal and raisins. Oatmeal and raisins is what I hold my heart with. But technically, I remember these from going back to my old school because they used to sell these at the cafeteria and they would be so freaking delicious. I'd literally bring money to school just to buy these because they were so freaking good. And honestly, I don't know why people hate these cookies so much. I think you just need to find a good recipe to them and try it out and not be like, hey, it don't look right, it ain't gonna work out. Let me add all this stuff to make it look good. And then it's gonna taste bad and I'm gonna blame it on the recipe. Look, I kind of inhaled some of like the oatmeal dust type thing, so yeah. Okay, now we're just mixing in our raisins. I honestly want a bit more raisins, so I'm going to add in a half a cup, which should be roughly about somewhere 80 grams, maybe 60, 80, 60, somewhere there. Okay, and now I'm just going to incorporate this one last time. Actually, you know what? Let me go wash my hands and then I'm gonna cover this with my hands because it is so freaking like tough now. It's so hard. I can't mix it in. It's so hard. Never mind that. I was wrong. We need to scoop these up like if we were gonna put them in the oven, but they do need a chill time. I had to go check my notes real quick. And they need to chill for at least an hour in time. You can chill them for however you want. Overnight, they will be a bit more roughy, but just leave them in the oven for a bit longer if you do that. By the way, the longer you chill them for, the chewier they will be. So open them for like maybe an hour 30. That will get you the perfect texture. Well, at least that I love. If you like a super chewy cookie, then go ahead. Go get yourself like, I don't know, 2 hours to 30. Okay, now we're just gonna take our little ice cream scooper, scoop in some of that dough to get right out, form a little ball, and then just place that right on your baking sheet. And just continue that process until I guess it's done. And if you probably are gonna be like me and probably are gonna have some left in your bowl, then queen, feel free to just put the bowl with some parchment, some like, how's that transparent thing called? Yeah, it's the transparent thing on top into the fridge. It's completely good. It won't like ruin your cookies or anything. Actually, it might make them chewier if I think about it. Probably not, but it won't ruin your cookies, no. And actually, it will do the same thing. You'll just have to mix it a bit again with your hands, maybe a spatula, to get a non-hard texture. So yeah, and yeah, I ate some. It's so good. Okay, y'all, my cookies are done sitting in the fridge. I put them for an hour 30. So now I'm gonna go preheat my oven to 350, and then our video is gonna be over. So yeah.